3.5 billion years ago, Earth has no life. Suddenly, an alien spaceship descends. An alien engineer steps out, but before he can plant his feet, the ship blasts off, zipping into the sky and stranding him. But this engineer remains eerily calm. He strides to the river, removes a small metal container, and places it on the ground. Then he strips naked. Incredible. That physique. Rippling muscles chiseled like granite. He twists off the lid and a pitch-black ooze spills out. The second it hits the air, it hisses and eats through the container, punching holes in the metal. Talk about a lethal trap. But the engineer raises the container to his lips and chugs the entire thing. The next second, it collapses, racked by violent spasms, moaning in excruciating pain. The ooze rushes through his veins, tearing through his body. His DNA shatters, destroyed by the fluid. In an instant, he tumbles into the river, his form dissolving into the current. The materials from the engineer's decomposed body actually seep into the river current. His DNA starts clicking together, reforming into living cells that divide and multiply. They evolve from fish to dinosaurs, and incredibly, Homo sapiens. That's how Earth becomes the vibrant, diverse planet we know today. So this engineer is legit the ancestor of all life on Earth. But not long after, his people send a new ship, lock onto Earth's coordinates, and plan to wipe out humanity. Why the hell would they do that? Cut to the future, 2091. Humans have mastered interstellar travel. Top tech companies can even create immortal androids. But the origin of life still remains a mystery, and natural aging is unavoidable. Then archaeologist Elizabeth Shaw discovers identical mysterious murals worldwide. A 3-meter-tall engineer surrounded by ancient people bowing down. The engineer is pointing to stars in the sky, arranged in a strange pattern. It's almost like he's beckoning humanity to find them. After scientists cross-reference star maps, they locate an identical galaxy 35 light-years from Earth. It contains a planet called LV-223. Its ecosystem mirrors Earth's, perfect for sustaining life. Shaw and her husband Charlie are convinced this is where the gods who created life reside. The tech company's billionaire CEO, Peter Whalen, drops a staggering $1 trillion to build the Prometheus, a massive starship. He sends 17 scientists, including Shaw and Charlie, to LV-223, hoping to uncover clues about these creators. During the 3-year journey, the scientists sleep in stasis pods. Only the android, David, stays awake. For 3 years, he devours human knowledge, binges on movies, and even mimics movie characters in his free time. As the Prometheus nears LV-223, the ship's commander wakes first. She orders David to rouse the scientists one by one. When Shaw wakes up, she's so disoriented from stasis that she vomits violently. Charlie, also an archaeologist, can't contain his excitement for the alien mission. The commander calls a meeting and plays a hologram of the CEO, Wayland. Wayland is 100 years old. Despite every anti-aging tech, his body is failing, but his android, David, the synthetic never ages, learns insanely fast. He masters a language in seconds. So David's sent on the mission to uncover the gods' secrets in Wayland's place. Shaw and Charlie present their research, but no one buys it. If their theory's true, Darwin's evolution goes out the window. It'd shatter the scientific community. Minutes later, the Prometheus breaks through the clouds, landing on a barren landscape. Scanners show no signs of life. The atmosphere mirrors Earth's, but CO2 levels are 100 times higher. Any organism exposed dies in 2 minutes. They'll need respirators to exit. Charlie spots something, dome-shaped structures ahead. Definitely not natural. He orders the ship to redirect, landing right in front of the ruins. The planet's ruins rise kilometers into the sky, covered in unreadable symbols. Their bases are perfectly flat, definitely man-made. The team squeezes through a crevice, arriving at an open doorway. Strangely, no lights illuminate the interior. The corridor towers 20 meters high. Humans look like toys inside. The geologist launches a drone scanning the ruins with infrared. 3D models stream back to the Prometheus as they venture deeper. Suddenly, they find a mysterious void descending into the planet's core. Detectors show pristine air, no toxins. This unassuming hole purifies the atmosphere. Charlie yanks off his helmet, gasping, "It's breathable." He shouts in amazement, but the team wanders for hours lost in the maze, until David notices slime on the wall. Following the trail, he finds a control panel. He presses a few buttons, triggering a holographic recording. In the hologram, A group of engineers flee, glancing over their shoulders like they're running from something. The scientists follow the footage and watch as the engineers rush through a massive door. One engineer is too slow. The descending door decapitates him. Cautiously approaching, they find a mummified engineer corpse. Shaw takes a sample, and the readings shock her. The body is 2,000 years old. David, fluent in ancient languages, deciphers the alien script on the wall. He swipes the control panel, and red lights flash. The door rises, revealing a chamber. Inside, a colossal face sculpture dominates the room. Dozens of canisters, smooth, varying in size, line the floor. As the team investigates, they ignore a critical detail. Their presence is altering the chamber's environment. Worms crawl from the soil they've disturbed. The ceiling murals, once vibrant, start oxidizing, fading before their eyes. David approaches the canisters and shines his flashlight. The black ooze inside reacts to the light, undulating within the glass, then starts seeping down the container. His curiosity just unleashed a nightmare. Meanwhile, outside, a Category 10 storm barrels toward the ruins. The captain orders an evacuation. The team grabs an engineer's head and bolts, but David slips a canister into his pack unnoticed. They race in rovers, the storm hot on their tails, barely making it back to the Prometheus. Two scientists get left behind, trapped in the ruins. Inside, the pair finds more engineer corpses piled against a door. Whatever they were fleeing killed them all. Terrified, they try to escape but circle back to the chamber. Every canister is open now. The black ooze floods the floor. Then, something moves in the slime. A white creature shoots up from the ooze, a mutated earthworm. The biologist, thrilled by the discovery, reaches out to prod it. Bad move. The worm snaps onto his finger, then wraps around his arm with inhuman strength. A grown man can't pry it off. The geologist pulls out a knife and cuts the worm free, but its blood is corrosive. The liquid spatters his suit, hissing and smoking. He drops to the ground as the worm, regenerating, burrows into the biologist's body. Both are dead in seconds. Meanwhile, Shaw disinfects the engineer's head for scanning. Turns out the face is a helmet. She opens it to reveal a being shockingly human-like. An assistant aims a taser probe into the brain, hoping to stimulate it with electricity, tricking the tissue into thinking it's still alive. As the current increases, the engineer's eyelids start twitching, muscles spasm, then a look of agony contorts its features. It convulses, oozing black fluid that reeks of rotten eggs. Shaw senses disaster and triggers the containment field, aiming to freeze the head. But the next second, the head explodes, spewing green slime. What the hell is this alien disease? Everyone recoils in horror. Shaw refuses to quit. She extracts genetic samples from the wreckage, and a DNA comparison shocks her. The engineer's genes are identical to humans, totally same. So the engineers are our ancestors. But this means the disease that killed them could infect humanity too. Unbeknownst to her, David has opened the canister. Inside, vials of the black ooze. David snaps open a vial and collects a drop of ooze. Spotting Charlie bored in the mess hall, he offers to pour him a drink and slips his finger into the glass as he pours. He's using a human as a lab rat for the black ooze. Unaware, Charlie downs the tainted drink. Instead of getting drunk, he's hyper alert, and that night, he and Shaw sleep together. The next morning, Charlie wakes with a horror. Something's moving under his eyeball. Before he can react, the ship's PA blares. Two scientists are missing. They return to the ruins and find only the biologist's corpse. The geologist is gone. Panic sets in and Charlie collapses. The ooze is spreading through his body. Shaw rushes him back to the Prometheus, but en route, the infection explodes. Charlie screams in agony as the black fluid ravages his insides. The commander suspects Charlie's infected with an alien pathogen. She refuses to let him back on the ship, flaming torch in hand. Realizing he's doomed, Charlie volunteers to be incinerated. Shaw faints from grief. Alone, David explores deeper, stumbling into a chamber packed with 200,000 canisters. If opened, the black ooze would obliterate the planet. He pushes on, finding engineer armor, then enters a grand hall with a circular dais and 4 stasis pods. At the control panel, David triggers a hologram. Engineers activate machinery. This entire complex is a spaceship. They pull up a star map and lock in a destination. David's eyes widen. It's Earth, so 2,000 years ago, the engineers planned to carry the ooze to Earth and eradicate humanity themselves. But something went wrong. They all died. Their ship crash landing here. That's why the Prometheus found this place. Suddenly, David notices a stasis pod powering up. An engineer is still alive inside. It's the find of a lifetime. When Shaw regains consciousness, David stands over her, stating flatly, "You're 3 months pregnant." Shaw recoils. She had a hysterectomy. The only intimate encounter she's had was last night. Impossible to be 3 months along. David adds that the fetus appears deformed. Panicked, Shaw demands an abortion, but David pretends to agree, then injects her with a sedative, planning to freeze her for experimentation. Shaw fakes unconsciousness, clubs a guard with a pipe, and staggers to the medbay. She activates the auto-surgery function, jams anesthetic into her abdomen, a total badass, and lets the robotic arms perform a C-section. Out comes the fetus. No hands, no feet, just writhing tentacles. A mutated squid-like abomination. The thing screams when exposed to air, thrashing wildly. Shaw stitches herself up, repulsed, and flees as the medbay freezes the monster with liquid nitrogen. Shaw flees in a panic, stumbling into a hidden chamber. There sits Wayland. He's stowed away on the Prometheus. The billionaire confesses he's on his deathbed. Funding Shaw's mission was all about finding the engineers. He wants the secret to immortality. But Shaw, shaken by the deaths, snaps, "We were so wrong about them. Too many people have died here. We need to leave," Shaw insists. But Wayland is desperate to confront the engineers face to face. He stares at her, eyes piercing. "If Charlie were alive, do you think he'd walk away from this unfinished?" Shaw's voice breaks. "Fine," she whispers. "We'll stay." Just then, the captain receives a distress signal from the geologist right outside the ship. A team investigates, only to find the geologist contorted on the ground. When they approach, he slaps a crew member to death, now a rabid, mindless attacker. He mows down several others before the captain incinerates him with a flamethrower. But Wayland couldn't care less. Wayland straps into a mechanical exoskeleton and leads his men into the alien ship. In the control room, David, with his eidetic memory, mimics the engineer's moves from the hologram, successfully disabling the stasis pod. The engineer rises slowly, human-like in his first act, retching violently. Wayland, frail and desperate, cuts Shaw off mid-sentence. "I created David just as you created man. We're both creators. Grant me immortality," David translates, but the engineer's only response is to grab him by the head, snapping his neck like a twig. Enraged by Wayland's hubris, the giant being crushes the billionaire's exoskeleton with a single fist. Guards open fire, but their bullets ricochet off the engineer's hide. He dispatches them effortlessly. Only Shaw escapes. The creature ignores her. It has a mission far more urgent. A colossal pilot seat rises from the dais. The engineer climbs aboard. He means to finish the mission to eradicate humanity. 88 jets of flame erupt from the ground as Shaw flees, the planet's crust cracking beneath her. As the alien ship lifts off, Shaw radios the Prometheus. "You have to stop it." She warns the engineer plans to destroy Earth, but the commander refuses. It's a research vessel, not a warship. But the captain is a man of honor. "I'll take care of this." He orders the ion drive engaged, intending to turn the Prometheus into a guided missile. He sends the crew to escape pods, but his aide stays. The commander launches to the surface as the ship hurtles toward the alien craft. Boom! The Prometheus slams into the vessel, erupting in a fireball. The impact sends the alien ship careening toward the surface. The alien ship crashes into the ground, skidding toward Shaw and her team. They sprint for their lives. In a heartbeat, Shaw trips over a boulder. She rolls sideways just in time. But the commander, too focused on escape, keeps running straight. Seconds later, the ship's thruster pod detaches, crushing her like a bug. Shaw's oxygen timer ticks down to 2 minutes. She races to the wreckage for a tank, but the squid monster she birthed is alive. now bigger than her. Its tentacles slam the wall as she screams in terror. David's voice crackles over the comm. "Watch out! The engineer's coming for you!" A massive, bloodied hand bursts through the debris. The injured engineer charges, but Shaw triggers the medbay door. Tentacles shoot out, lassoing the giant. Even the engineer is no match. The squid pins him down, mouth gaping. It's using him as a host for its young. As the two monsters struggle, Shaw flees. David contacts Shaw again, saying he needs help. He mentions there's another alien ship they can use to escape, but only he knows how to fly it. When Shaw finds David, her experiences have drained her curiosity about humanity's origin. She only wants to know why the engineers were so determined to destroy mankind. "I need to find where they came from," she says. Soon, an alien vessel takes off, heading toward the engineer's homeworld. But inside, the parasitized engineer begins convulsing violently. Suddenly, a humanoid monster bursts from his abdomen with a deafening roar. The very first xenomorph ancestor of all alien species is born. This is Prometheus, the $1 billion prequel to the Alien franchise. With mind-blowing visuals and non-stop tension, it redefines sci-fi horror. If you love this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe. See you next time.